Hello YouTube. I purchased a couple of games on eBay that are broken. They were sold as parts and I sent offers for them and both of them were approved. So let's see what they have and let's try to fix them. Let's start with this game, Sonic Advance 2. As you can see, it has a broken Nintendo logo. So let's put it back again into the console and see what we got. Yep, again, broken Nintendo logo. So let's open the cartridge and see what we find. Please remember, if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell. Remove the screw. Now let's slide it a little bit. And just by looking at the board, I don't see any signs of corrosion or broken vias. Nothing. So let me put it here. Pins are clean. The seller actually was saying on the listing that he tried cleaning with IPA the pins and still the game didn't work. So by judging on the condition of the game board, we will start by doing a reflow. I know some people in the comment section on my previous videos have told me that I have to use flux. I already ordered a no clean one. I know those also need cleaning, but I think the residue that they leave is just way easier to clean than the one that I already have. So please bear with me in this video. I will not use flux when reflowing this game. So just what I like to do is to put some new solder onto the tip of my iron and start touching each one of the legs on the chips, just making sure that the solder melts and it makes again contact with the board. I'll do this with every single one of the chips, and if I manage to bridge two legs to contacts, it's as easy as, you know, using some desoldering wick to remove it. Let's again do it. This side now, this other chip, and now let's clean it. IPA and a cotton swab is always your best friend. Let's clean the pins again and look at the board to see the final result. Nothing fancy, but works. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can see the fresh new solder into each one of the legs. Game Boy Advance games are a little bit tougher than normal Game Boy games because the chip legs are tinier, but just be patient and you'll get to it. So let's see if this fixed this. This game was actually being sold for $12. I offered 10 and the seller accepted the offer. And this game sells for about $20 to $30 depending on condition. So let me give it a little bit of a cleaning. I'm not very happy with the result after the first one. So I'm planning to list this for $20, $25 to see if I can sell it. But first, let's test it. Put the board back onto the cartridge. And now let's bring the big boy, the Rayquaza Game Boy Advance. And Nintendo logo looks fine. And yes, we got it. The game is working now. I've never played this game before. Have you? Are you a big Sonic fan? Now let's test it on a Game Boy Advance SP I have here, just to make sure before listing it that the game actually works perfectly. First attempt on any console. Yep, it's working perfectly. We are going to be able to make some profit out of this game. For the second one, we have a Pokémon Yellow. Again, this was being sold as parts. Look at how beautiful, in the beautiful condition this is. Label is intact. Seller was accepting offers. He was selling this game for $50. I offered 40 plus shipping. I ended up paying $50. So let's test it. And nothing. Let me push the buttons, try again, blow the cartridge a little bit, old school, and click on the buttons. We got nothing. So again, let's inspect the board to see if we can find any broken traces or damaged vias. first. Let's try on another console. Again, scramble Nintendo logo. So, yep, this might also need a reflow. Let's open the cartridge, like I was saying, to see if we find any corrosion, broken vias, or damage something to see if we can fix it. Otherwise, the best bet here will be to just reflow the chips. Wow, this looks brand new in my opinion. This copy is in excellent condition. You can see here, it is in great condition. I don't see any damage or corrosion. I've said this before on my videos. Some people like to push the legs to find which one is not making contact. For me, it's just if you are making the effort of looking for the leg that is not touching the board, why not reflow all of them at the same time, right? It's the same amount of effort, and you will make sure that this game is no longer having any issues in the near future. So let's start by removing the battery. Just hold it with tweezers like this. Hit with the iron one of the pads and lift once the solder has melted. Same thing with the other side, and just like that we remove the battery. So now let's start speeding this video up and doing the reflow on this board. Let's check it out. I don't see nothing. So let's put it in place. Let me zoom so you can see the process a little bit better. I'm using high quality and purity solder, which has flux inside of it. So that was one of the reasons why I don't use external flux. But I already ordered one, like I said before. So let's start just by putting some heat into each one of the legs and touching with the new solder, just like this. Again, we will do that with all of the legs. Should look like this. Now let's go to the next one. This is the memory chip. The battery feeds with energy this chip. That's what keeps your safe. Once the battery has drained, this chip will lose power and you will lose your save. So now let's do this. Is the easiest one. The one on the top. Very nice. This is I would like to say the hardest, but it's not hard at all. It's just the legs are so tiny and so close to each other that it's very easy to reach them. But like I said before, just a little patient and you will be just fine. Just like this. You just need to put the iron like 2 seconds to make sure that the solder on the legs is melting. And once it solidifies, it will be making contact with the board. Also, it helps to add new solder. So just like that. Now let's give it a good clean, IPA and a cotton swab to all the area that we worked on. Of course, one more clean to the pins and to the pads. Let's remove that 1996 flux. So let's test it just like it is right now, and it's working. I also like to check if the Professor Oak is there, just because if there's another issue, you will see a black square instead of the Professor Oak, which means that we will need to do more work with it. So now let's put the battery holder like I like to do. Remove the old solder, put the holder in place, put some solder just to hold it. And now we will solidify the solder, making sure that it fuses the pad with the tiny legs on the holder. Let's clean it again to have it shiny, just like that. Snap the new battery. This is a CR1616 new battery. Let's test it with the new multimeter that I got. That just the other one's not working. 3.31, that's perfect. We are making sure that the new owner of this beautiful game has saved files for a long time. So now let's bring it back together. Look how nice this is. And I saw some Sharpie marks on the top. We will do our best to remove them. I'll show you how in a minute. Let's close it. Put the screw. SS. This was the previous owner of this game. So let's start using IPA and a cotton swab on the ink marks. Let me bring everything here close. So just try to remove as much marks as you can. And now we will use some fresh new ink from a Sharpie. And as soon as you put the new ink on it, use the swab with the IPA and scrub it. Just like that, just like that. If there are more marks, just mark them with your Sharpie. And again, rinse and repeat. Now I'm drying it with a piece of paper towel. And one more. And this is our final result. Restore, no more marks, the game working perfectly, and fresh new battery, plus a battery holder. I paid, I think, $50, like I mentioned before, for this game. So I think now it will be worth twice the price that I paid for it. So we are gonna make some profit out of this. Let's try on this Game Boy. I love this GBA, honestly. The eye of requests are shining when the power is on. I love it. So now let's put this on fast, create a new save file just to make sure everything is working. So far so good. Professor Oak is there. Looks good. Fat Pikachu. Not as fat as the one from Pokemon Blue, sorry. And let's put him leg out, the name that I like. Let me know in the comments if you know where this name came from. So now let's put Gary to this guy, just like the anime when I was growing up. This brings so much memories from those times. Simpler games, but used to build the best memories, in my opinion. Nowadays, it's difficult to find a game that makes you feel this kind of surprise. Maybe it's us that grew up older. I don't know. We are not as easy to surprise or to amaze than we were on those times. So, as a final test, what I like to do is to put it on a different Game Boy just to prove that the game works and it holds a save. When I list them on eBay, I like to do that to show that it saves on two different Game Boys, so the buyer knows that I swapped the cartridge from two different consoles. So everything works. Subscribe. See you in the next one.